Fisher, you've made a little bit of a checklist here to guide us through what we should be looking for in a little bit more detailed manner. Tell us what you're looking for, what results you usually see with crop aid, and why this is important.
Sure. So the checklist was created uh, out of we want to show the customers, that when they purchase crop aid, it is doing something. We've also heard quite a few times where a farmer will buy a product and either it sits in the shed or he uses it, nobody comes out, so he really doesn't know if it worked or not, and we just didn't want to do that. So we devised a checklist. And what we do is we give this to all of our distributors, and likely a few of their customers have it as well. So what it does, it just kind of walks you through um, the stages of the crop. So, you know, 7 to 14 days after seeding. So we'd be looking at what the seed products do in the soil, and then we go, 30 to 60 days after seeding and that kind of stuff. So anybody who uses seed product, the distributor will come out, especially the first year. I mean, we have to get out there and then show you guys, the product's working. So what we do is we go out there and I know a lot of you guys are seeding. So the distributors can take this checklist and they can check off what they see and then, send you pictures and everything else and just let you guys know that they've been out there. So usually, 7 to 14 days after seeding, I know the crop's just up, one leaf stage, maybe two. Uh, so we're looking for, that early germination. We do have a video on our website, I believe, that it does show the crop aid seed product. It's germinating. You can see the headlands. The crop is up out of the ground, and where the other untreated side isn't. So that's what we're kind of looking for. I mean, we're digging up. We're looking for quick germination, faster germination, get it out of that soil nice and quick to get it growing. A lot of times, when we dig these up, we're finding, especially in cereals, yeah, the roots or the stems, they sometimes have a little bit of a brownish tinge to it, kind of a little bit of a slime on it. We don't want to see that. We want a nice white root. We're kind of looking at that. And also too, even at that early stage, even though that the crop is, just out of the ground in that one leaf stage, your roots can be, you know, 2 inches, 3 inches long. And that bacteria and that biology is starting to colonize around those roots, even at that early stage. So we're looking for that because obviously, the quicker your bacteria can colonize around those roots, the quicker you can start feeding it nutrients. So that's what we're kind of looking for. A lot of times, I mean, even the cotyledon size is different. I know they do fall off quite quickly, but it's just these comparisons to show that the product's doing its job. A healthier plant's coming out of the ground, uh, better vigor. So I mean, if we get some of those cold spells and that kind of stuff, I mean, they could tolerate that more. And then also too, insect damage at that early stage. We're kind of looking at that. A lot of instances, I mean, we just don't get the insect damage even at that early stage, even though when that early plant is coming out of the soil, a lot of its functions are not going. It go like, building proteins and the proper sugars and that kind of stuff. Uh, it's not happening as of yet. It's happening later, but we can still show a lot of that stuff. And like I said, even though, the farmers out in the field seeding, the distributor can still go out, check all that kind of stuff and check off what they did check on that list, take a picture, and then, text it to your email to you so you know he's been in the field and you can kind of see what's going on. So those kind of seed products. And again, I don't think a lot of companies do go out there and do this kind of checks to show that their seed product is working. And the seeds are better, healthier, more vigor. Uh, because again, in that first 30 days, it's very important to get these crops off to the best start we can.
Is
So then
this
what
more
we
of a
do,
check for the Seed Plus or the Crop Aid Plus, Darren?
this would be for the seed and the seed plus. Even though we have sprayed on usually the crop aid plus, which is the biostimulant, this is more for the seed product. Even though that the crop aid plus is helping, it's been on for a week or two already. This is, good for the seed product. And this is, kind of an early thing. Later on, when we go out there, maybe, 30 days, after seeding or 60 days after seeding, this is kind of when the whole program has kicked in. We've got that, 4 to 6 weeks after the first application. And now we have the whole program working, right? So we have the seed product, the seed and the seed plus doing its job. We've got that early start. We've got the, nice healthy roots. We have a better rhizosphere. And what happens below the soil is directly responsible for what's happening above the soil. Um, so after this 30 or 60 days, the distributor will be back out. It's pretty much mandatory. All of our guys do it, especially that first year and second year. So they come out, uh, shovel in hand, and they get the farmer with them. They'll contact the farmer and make schedule everything. So then they get out there and we're looking at the crop height. There's many times where because we're getting more nutrients into the plant, uh, that compaction is reduced. More water infiltration. There is a crop height difference. You know, crop color. A lot of times, because our plants are less stressed, they're like a nicer color. Yes, less yellowing, which could be a stress of some sort. We also look at leaf size, larger leaves, more photosynthesis. That's what drives the plant, right? And we'll also look at everything. The stem length and the stem thickness. We look for disease. Um, we also look at lower leaves, upper leaves, because if we have a yellowing or a lightening of those, that's a nutrient deficiency. Uh, we know which ones those are. Even going on, even into flowering, we've had guys say that crop eight side flowers first. Healthier plant, of course. Flag leaf, we have many times we have lots of pictures of the flag leaves, bigger, larger, healthier. And Darren Sander, he promotes this and he talks about it all the time. You know, that those barbs on that flag leaf, on the untreated side, if you run that across your tongue, it's really barbed and it sticks in, it's rough. But on the crop aid side, if you run that flag leaf across your tongue, it's smooth, it's a nice waxy coating on there, and that's a protection, right? So all these signs we're looking for when we go out to show that your plants are healthier, they're stronger, there's less stress, and it's just an overall better crop. So, and in return, if a healthier, better crop should equal to yield. Um, so kind of we're doing that as we're doing, and then we started really like digging in the soil. So as Darren was in that video, taking that soil and flipping it on the tailgate, so you get your hands in there and you can visually see things. Um, we have pictures where the trash on top of the soil is significantly reduced. That bacteria is breaking it down, recycling those nutrients, and that's kind of what we want. We don't want trash to be seen like in the soil from 3, 4, 5 years ago. If you're seeing trash from 5 years ago, it's not being broke down. So that's a good indication that your soil is kind of unhealthy and it's a low bacteria, so it can't break that down. So we're looking for that. The soil smell, that peat moss smell, that's life. I mean, that's everything in soil. That's glumalin from the fungi. That's all the earthworms. Like they're excreting their stuff, all the bacteria, organic acids. That's healthy soil. And it's very shocking when you out in a field and you take that soil and you tell the farmer to smell it, and he looks at you like you're you're kind of weird. But and he's like, "Why am I smelling soil?" And it's like, "Well, smell the control side, and it's got no smell. It's a dead smell. There's nothing there." And then also on the crop aid side, and also, well, oh, there's that smell of soil. And I can remember as a kid when Dad was out working, there's that smell of soil, right? And you just don't get that anymore. But I tell you, go out there and you smell that soil and you smell it, and that's just life. So that's a very positive thing. And a lot of times when we have that increased bacteria, they want more moisture. That's the way they move in the soil. So a lot of times, there's more moisture and you can physically feel that in the soil. I was out in Lethbridge last week and in the soil, they had some rain, but you could physically feel the soil was cooler and it was wetter. And we dug 50 yards apart. The farmer was like, this is crazy. He says, I can physically feel the more moisture in the soil. Um, the hard pan of compaction. When you're digging in that soil, a lot of guys don't realize this. When they put it on the tailgate, the soil is rock hard, just like in the video. You can bang that on the tailgate all you want, and it's not going to break up. So when we think about that hard soil, think about the rain when we get these hard, heavy rains. If it can't soak in, where's it going? And on a year like this, when we haven't had a lot of rain in some places, we need that rain to soak in. So to physically show that, look at our crop aid side is more mallow, it's looser. This water can soak in and soak in deep. I mean, that's a game changer, really. I mean, when you can get your soil like that, and especially on a year like this, when you get a half inch of rain in a half an hour, you don't want that in a low spot. You want that in the root zone. Um, so we're checking for that. The aggregation, like we all want that crumb. I mean, that crumb-like soil, right? So when you break it up, it's in those little crumbs, and that's the function of the mycorrhiza fungi, and that's good soil structure. So you know that they're at work. Uh, Good roots. A lot of times we look at even canola and I mean even cereals. I mean they go down and they hit that hard pan and they just flatten out and they go sideways. We don't want that because what happens is when we have that shallow root zone and we do get rain, well, that rain's going to be it's going to soak into that top 3 inches. And then if it gets hot, dry, and windy, all of a sudden, all that moisture is gone really quick, right? So we're looking for those roots to be able to go down deep to get that water down deep, right? Even the color of the roots, we're seeing a lot whiter roots, nice, healthier roots. And I mean, even as we're walking in fields, I mean, that we've been after heavy rain. We also have video on this of, I think it's, I believe on Darren's farm. They had a really heavy rain, standing on the field video on one side, there's very little water in the field. It's soaking in. And on the other side, it's pooling like crazy. And we also seen that in the field as well when we're doing crop checks. The farmer, we're standing there, it's a day or two after heavy rain. He's going, well, we should be standing in water. So all these things that we check for when we're out in the field, like, I mean, even soil texture. Um, so when we're out in the field and when we actually have the shovel with the farmer going through all this checklist, I mean, he can see like, holy, like my soil is improving. Um, we've dug, we usually, split a field and we're digging 25, 20 yards on one side of the line and 20 yards on the other. So they're seeing this firsthand that the product is working like we've told them it was. And that's kind of sometimes what's missing out there is just this, this interaction with the farmer. Um, so all of our distributors have this. Um, I mean, if you have a distributor, talk to him and he can get you a copy and you can do this yourself. But this is kind of what we go through, so we make sure that everything's checked off and we've checked everything with the farmer. And so when we leave, you've seen the product work, that that someone's been out and your dollar's been well spent.